Mark your calendars because Cheekwood is throwing its very first community celebration, June 3rd through June 7th. And guess what? You're invited. Enjoy 5 days packed full of fun for all ages, from free yoga and $5 gardening classes to live music, puppets, and even a Taylor Swift dance party. And when the sun goes down, catch the Princess Bride under the stars or a Shakespearean cocktail crawl. It's all happening at Cheekwood. Learn more at cheekwood.org. Cowboy Up Nashville! Music City Rodeo, Nashville's first and only PRCA rodeo, is coming to Bridgestone Arena for 3 unforgettable nights featuring the world's top pro rodeo athletes and live music from Nashville legends. Reba on May 29th, Jelly Roll on May 30th, and Tim McGraw on May 31st. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, each night ticketed separately. For more information, visit MusicCityRodeo.com. Today on CityCast Nashville, Tennessee's hemp industry is at a crossroads, with new legislation set to take effect in January that will significantly impact the availability of many popular products. Joining us is Devin Aracena, co-founder and CEO of Canvas Supply Co., to discuss how these changes would impact her business, as well as you, the consumer. And hey, stick around after the interview for a conversation with Emily Luxon, Director of Communications for Cheekwood Estate and Gardens, about their inaugural community celebration sponsored by Cheekwood. It's Monday, May 12th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. I have been wanting to talk to you for months now, and it just so happens Tennessee lawmakers passed a bill banning hemp products with more than 0.3% THCA, which will probably devastate many local businesses and farmers across the state of Tennessee. Why, in your opinion, was this bill pushed through last minute right before the session ended?
Well, thanks for having me here, Marie, and having some patience with me in getting it scheduled.
Absolutely worth it to have you here.
It was crazy when you had initially, I was like, woo, you're
at the Capitol.
Yeah. So, this bill wasn't necessarily pushed through last minute. Like it was introduced pretty early on in the session, and we knew it was coming. We knew the liquor wholesalers were bringing a bill forward. It definitely got squirrely as it went through session. Industry certainly tried to work with the leaders and the legislators on right-sized regulation that puts consumer safety at the forefront of everything. But it did kind of go sideways at the end. As you heard, if you listened, were you able to listen to any of the hearings at the end?
I was, yes.
It's unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation and lack of understanding around the complexities of the science behind what we do and the types of products that our industry makes. And I think once again, unfortunately, despite all industry efforts and all the trade associations that worked on it, we have a set of legislation that is going to become a bill that the language is poorly written. It has downstream effects that are not just limited to THCA or smokable products, but there's just still a general consensus up there that this stuff is bad and dangerous, and that instead of regulating it, we just need to eliminate it.
Yes, I did hear a lot of safety for the children,
which we really agree with that.
I would like to understand a little bit of the misinformation you're speaking about.
Just a lot of misunderstanding around how the products are made from a science, how we're extracting these cannabinoids, the active compounds in hemp-based products, and what happens to those products as you eat it, as you smoke it, as you drink it, and what those, and outcomes of consuming it are. And I think the biggest thing that's really just confusing that we're here, because this is every year we're having these conversations. This year in particular, it felt very confusing. They don't like the Delta-9 molecule. They've honed in on that. They don't like that it inebriates or has a psychoactive effect, but they just don't like it in smokable form. They're okay with it in drinkable and edible form. And so that was a consistent conversation of if we're trying to ban THC because it converts to Delta-9 and Delta-9 has a potentially intoxicating effect, why are we okay with it then when you drink it out of a can or consume it in a gummy? Why are we choosing winners and losers in how someone interacts with this type of product? You had Big Liquor involved in it this year, and so they're protecting, their vested interest in it in the drinks. But I'd say that that's where a lot of the misunderstanding is.
Because it has the same effect.
It has the same effect. And it's arguable, Marie, that smoking is actually the less potent of the consumption methods.
Yeah. I did some investigative research for this episode.
Good.
So yes, I can agree. Yes.
And so, you try to think, like, we are in Tennessee. We are in the deep South still. And I think it comes down to, smoking has that smell, that distinct smell associated with it. And it seems like that's what they're kind of latched into. Whereas the drinks and gummies, as we have now called them, we've rebranded gummies to gummies. Okay. You gotta love them. So the real harm is going to come in the consumers, because by making these products effectively illegal, the demand is not going to go away. People aren't going to be like, oh, okay, this thing that's finally helping me is now illegal. I'm just going to stop using it. No, people are still going to use it. It's legal in all the states around us. And so without having like a deep understanding of how this law was written and the repercussions of it, we're turning grandmas into felons because they still want to consume their hemp products the way that they want to consume, and they can get it right over state lines and come home with it. And so I think that that's really where the harm happens. It also, by not regulating it and by banning it, it opens it to the illicit market with no regulation on it. These products can have anything in them. They can be labeled anything. They're still going to be sold. There's going to be bad players that don't follow the rules. And it's going to take the regulatory body, time to weed those people out, which just really means that the product out there is going to, potentially hurt people and be hard to regulate now.
I was just focusing on the local businesses and the farmers, but I hadn't really even thought about the consumers, because the demand is there. People will find it no matter what.
Yeah, the demand is really there. Like, there's no putting that toothpaste back in the tube.
Right. Well, so what exactly then got banned? What will we be seeing? I'm going to be selfish here. Like, what of my beloved products are going to be disappearing from the shelves?
Some won't be fully disappearing. They'll just be like reworked. The new bill that went through is focused around getting THCA smokables off. So your flower and your pre-rolls, should this go through, there's going to be challenges along the way. But should it go through, you'll see those products January 1 come out of market. A common metric that, like, amongst inside the industry is that's like 70 to 80% of the business in Tennessee. It's a significant amount. So you'll see your flower and pre-rolls go. You'll see your vape carts. You'll see THCA come out of them, and you'll see the other cannabinoids stay in them, like HHC, Delta 8, all the alphabet soup of hemp.
Yeah.
And so you'll see the most natural version come out, but all the other ones can stay in. And then you'll see some of your edibles come down in dosing. So it moves the milligram cap from 25 milligrams to 15 milligrams. It does something similar in drinks. You'll see the 6% tax that we've been paying on these hemp-derived cannabinoids over the past half a year to a year. Can't remember the time. It's all blur now. You'll see that drop off, but you'll see a new wholesale tax come in. So the biggest thing that this bill does is it basically hands our industry over to Big Liquor into a 3-tier system, which means that we will now have a tax at wholesale level. So while the end consumer no longer will pay the 6% sales tax, the price of the products will significantly, I'm talking very significantly, jump up.
Really?
Because the wholesale tax will get passed along through a multiplying effect to the consumer. So there's some really odd numbers that they came up with there. For example, $50 on an ounce of non-THC. So if you're buying like CBD flowers, $50 an ounce at wholesale. So then when you do all the markups to get it to retail, it's effectively a ban on any type of flower.
The bill moved regulation of hemp out from the Department of Agriculture to under alcoholic beverages commission. That's what we've been talking about. Will this then affect the THC, CBD beverages as well?
A little bit, but not, it doesn't ban beverages. It establishes a tax on the sale of hemp-derived cannabinoid beverages at a wholesale rate of $4.40 per gallon of liquid. So when you break all that down to the ready-to-go cans, product's going to increase a couple dollar points on the retail side of it.
And those are showing up everywhere at my local neighborhood bars. And what's been amazing is that they're at the same price point as a beer. So if they shoot up.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's got a long way to go. There's a lot of time between now and January. A lot can happen. But we are, once the governor signs this, we would move into a rulemaking period with the ABC where they would promulgate the rules that follow the statute of the bill. And that's when we would start knowing a little bit more about other effective dates and things like that.
Okay, yeah. So Governor Billy, at the time of this recording, he has yet to sign this bill. So we're not entirely sure what exactly will happen, but we're speculating at this moment.
In a dream scenario, he would veto it.
Yay!
But
I know.
That's not going to happen.
I know. Absolutely.
Or it's unlikely. Let's not rule it out completely. But
I'll pray on that. Nashville has plenty of live music, but you're missing out if you've never experienced Musicians Corner in Centennial Park. It's unlike anything else in town. First off, it's a 16-year-old multi-genre concert series that's absolutely free. Plus, it's pet-friendly, has a kids' activities area, and you can pull out a blanket, grab a bite, and hear some of the finest musicians from Nashville and beyond. Musicians Corner takes place on Friday nights and Saturday afternoons through June 14th with live music, food trucks, artisan vendors, craft beer, wine, cocktails, and more. Friday, May 16th features Johnny Fritz with Joshua Headley, Lady Couch, Autumn Nichols, and more. Saturday, May 17th has Susto String Band, Sugar Daisy, Riley Whitaker, and others. It's produced by the nonprofit Centennial Park Conservancy and supported by CityCast Nashville. Visit musicianscorner.com for the full lineup. If you haven't heard yet, Cheekwood is hosting their very first community celebration, June 3rd through June 7th. That's 5 days packed full of fun for all ages. During the day, you can come and enjoy free yoga with Small World Yoga. Explore a musical petting zoo brought to you by our friends at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. Catch performances by the Nashville Opera or the Nashville Puppet Truck. There will also be a friendship bracelet making station, animals from the Nashville Zoo. Oh, and how could I forget? $5 gardening classes for the whole family. Then, as the sun sets, grab dinner from one of the many food trucks and watch The Princess Bride under the stars. Or sip your way through a Shakespearean cocktail crawl, courtesy of the Nashville Shakespeare Festival. You can also catch an evening with Grammy Award winner Rodney Crowell, dance to music from Sonny Dada and his 12-piece band, or sing along to everyone's favorite Beatles songs with Forever Abbey Road. There's something for everyone of all ages, so come on by. Learn more at cheekwood.org.
Hi, I'm David Plotz, the CEO of CityCast. We've all set health goals: lose weight, exercise more, eat better. But without a plan, those goals often fade. That may have happened to you. It has definitely happened to me. And that's where Prolon comes in. Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet gives you a science-backed, structured approach to stay on track and see real results. And now Prolon is upping their game with the new next-gen 5-day program, delivering the same science-backed benefits in a cleaner, more convenient, and more flavorful format. Prolon is a plant-based nutrition program featuring soups, snacks, and beverages designed to nourish the body while keeping it in a fasting state, triggering cellular rejuvenation and renewal. Next Gen builds on the original Prolon with 100% organic soups and teas, a richer taste, and ready-to-eat meals. Developed over decades at USC's Longevity Institute and backed by top U.S. medical centers, Prolon has been shown to support biological age reduction, metabolic health, skin appearance, fat loss, and energy. I've been doing the 5-day program, and I feel so much better. I really enjoy the tasty energy bars, the snacks and soups, and the fact that I can enjoy meals, even though the calorie count is super low. The flavors and textures are excellent. An olive oil snack here, broccoli and quinoa soup there, hibiscus tea, a yummy nut bar. It's got the benefits of a 5-day fast, but doesn't have the challenge of doing it with pure liquids. It's a system reset. And also, I know this sounds funny, but it's not. The packaging and directions are fantastic, clear, and well organized and thoughtful. For a limited time, you can be first in line to experience the new Next Gen at special savings. Prolon is offering CityCast listeners 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/city. That's PROLONLIFE.com/city to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/city.
Well, so how did you show up? That's a big reason why we couldn't schedule you, is because you were showing up. What did you do to try to stop this?
A lot. So I have a company. It's called Canvas Supply Co. We make edibles and have some smokables. And so we're actively engaged in the industry here in Tennessee, as well as other states. I have vested interest in the well-being of our industry and the service that myself and all of our peers provide to our communities. There is a local trade association called Tennessee Healthy Alternatives Association. And so in partnership with them, I just supported by showing up to testify at hearings, went to every meeting I could get with senators and the leaders and legislators, and just trying to be there as a resource. So if they had questions about what the actual impact is for small businesses, a lot of questions around like, how are these products ending up in schools? How are these products made? Just a lot of time talking and educating and listening first, right? So we don't want to like go into those meetings just with like, just a hammer. Just like, let's listen. Like, what are your actual concerns around this? Like, what are the sticking points? Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how regulation could solve those sticking points rather than an outright ban, and how we can have a free market around it that puts consumer safety at the forefront. Now, obviously, those conversations will have lasting power for years to come for the reform around the plant. But this year, the industry, it's the first year we've had someone like ABC on the other side of it. Usually it's the industry fighting the legislators. So this was a unique year. The conversations just got a lot more complex. It was now not just having to satisfy the conversations with legislators, but also the liquor wholesalers who now want to take the industry.
Why was it moved under ABC?
Some would argue that the ABC might be better suited to regulate intoxicating product category like hemp better than the Department of Ag, that really is meant to regulate things on an agricultural scale. And the Department of Ag does great with that in their hemp program. But once it comes to like consumer packaged goods and serving it to people, the argument there is that the ABC is better. I stay neutral on that one. This plant and this industry is working so hard to just kind of stabilize itself and come out of prohibition and legitimize itself. A lot of us self-regulate. There hasn't always been regulation. So a lot of us are just like doing the best we can. And so the ABC coming in will add some good things and some things we're going to have to live with and work together on.
Well, something I'd love for you to make it make sense is that Tennessee has made something illegal that is still legal under federal law. Can you explain how that is supposed to work?
Yeah. And for anyone listening that didn't listen to the hearings, I don't expect anyone was tuning in, but there's a big confusion around a few things. So hemp has two kind of like regulatory rules that it operates under. We have the 2018 Farm Bill, and that defines hemp in a certain way as anything under 0.3% Delta 9 THC. So this is important. So the Farm Bill is under Delta 9 THC, 3%. Then we have the USDA hemp regulations, and that one is under 0.3% total THC. So that is regulating crops that are in the field. As soon as they come out of the field, most states default to the 2018 definition of hemp. And it seems like that's a big point of confusion amongst the people that are making decisions for us. And so because we have the 2018 Farm Bill that defines hemp as anything under 0.3% Delta 9 THC, that makes it federally legal. Tennessee has decided to go against that and redefine hemp and use the total THC standard. And using the total THC standard on anything out of the field, so like in post-production, is how they are eliminating THCA products.
Have we modeled this after any other state, or are we a standalone?
Tennessee is currently a standalone in this. Other states certainly have attempted it. It's been challenged in federal courts and industry has won. So we have precedent in other states of showing like, hey, you can't do that. But Tennessee has, at current, decided to stand alone in it. I think Briggs' comment in one of the last hearings was like, why do we care what it is federally? Like, we can make up our own rules.
So are we looking towards a lawsuit?
It's too soon to tell. I think the trade associations there's a lot that you can do without a lawsuit to work with the legislative body. We have another session next year coming up that we could work to fix it. So we're just looking at all of our options and trying to keep open lines of communication with the Department of Revenue, ABC, Tennessee Department of Agriculture, because it's going to be a massive handoff, and the liquor wholesalers. So yeah, we're just assessing the field.
So is anything changing for your business right now?
We service retail stores. Right now, we're operating under current law from the Department of Agriculture. And we have our ability to sell THCA flower right now because the Department of Ag did try to, in their rulemaking process, also eliminate THCA flower. And there is an active lawsuit in the state against the Department of Ag, and we have a stay. And that stay is what is allowing us to still operate as is right now. So we can sell smokables, we can sell THCA. That court date is coming up in June for that lawsuit. That will be another big push for the industry to continue defending itself and its rights. And after that, then depending on the outcome of that, we'll have to see what we do from there.
Okay.
But we do hopefully expect a positive outcome there. The argument is not really an argument. It's really just a matter of details and following the rules.
You're from California, is that right?
I lived in California for a few years, and I worked in the cannabis industry in medical and recreational in California. But I'm actually was born in Florida and then raised in South Carolina. So I'm from the South.
And then did you move from California to Tennessee?
We moved from California. We had a kid out there and we were like, we need to be closer to family, and California is really expensive. We were managing large scale farms, and that's like having thousands of babies, living plants. And so once we had our own kid, we were like, whoo, I don't know if we can keep up with all these gardens. So we moved back to Florida, which is where my family was from, and just kind of like rested a little bit, and then made a very strategic decision to move to Nashville, Tennessee because of their hemp program.
So there were promises made.
Yes. It was great. It was a lot of agriculture here too. The farmers have definitely taken the biggest hit so far in the industry in their ability and what they can grow in the state.
Who are your customers?
I like to say we have like two groups of customers at Canvas. We have my demographic, so like working professionals, busy moms, busy dads, health conscious people, gym rats. So we formulate with hemp as an ingredient, but not the only one. So we've got like L-theanine and magnesium L-threonate and all sorts of fun things. And then we have like a halo demographic, which is like our second demographic, which is like our parents, because our generation loves to like find something good and then pass it on directly to our parents. So when I pull all our metrics of like who's buying and what shops we do the best in or who's buying online, it's really split between those age demographics, which is really cool. It means people are sharing it.
I mean, I just hear, so much about the benefits of THCA.
Yeah, so THCA in its natural form is not psychoactive at all. It has to be heated up. We'll use the simple word, or carboxylated is the correct word, but essentially it has to be heated up. And in that heating process, it converts to Delta 9. And so these molecules together alone have very therapeutic benefits for people with all sorts of ailments. So mental health issues. And we always, recommend you consult with your doctor for this. Like everything about your lifestyle should be taken into consideration before you're making a decision to try anything, any supplement, any new diet, all of that. Massive anti-inflammatory benefits. We use THCA. Part of why I was really involved this year is we use THCA in its natural non-psychoactive form in a lot of our edibles because of the benefits it has in its non-psychoactive form. That's where you start losing them in the complexity when you try to have those conversations. It's very hard for them to delineate that there could be other outcomes besides being high.
Right.
And so, yeah, I would just say it's like, it really helps your body, like pretty much all of the cannabinoids reach homeostasis. And for someone like myself who does not particularly like to turn to a glass of wine at night or be intoxicated on alcohol, cannabis and hemp-derived products are a great resource for me that leave me in control of myself and have all these like lasting health benefits with it. So instead of poisoning myself, I'm like also, helping my endocannabinoid system, and I'm helping my stress levels and my cortisol levels balance out. The majority of people buying our products, cannabis products, are looking for sleep support, non-addictive sleep support, to be particular about it, because there's lots of sleep support out there, but they have, these like negative side effects with it. So the benefits definitely are there, and they're very unique to each person.
So if somebody is listening and they've maybe never even tried these products before, what would you suggest them starting with?
A low dose. So we've all heard about the person that ate a cookie and didn't feel anything and ate another one. So if you are, interested, we have a microdose product. So it's only 2.5 milligrams of Delta-9. They're called Shifter Focus gummies. And so this is a great starting amount for someone to get to experience what it feels like without any potential overwhelm, because it's just a very small amount. So it's not going to overwhelm your endocannabinoid system that causes some of those nervous feelings to set in potentially. And then just go slow. Like, don't eat 5 of them. Just eat one and wait an hour or even more. Sometimes people's bodies process, at different speeds. It all determines like how much water you drink, what did you eat that day, because everything is a science process. No matter how we are consuming it, if we're smoking it, drinking it, eating it, it has to go through our bodies, and it's turning into other things once it is in our bodies. And so that all takes time of experimenting and finding what works for you.
I've just been hearing more and more of my friends, less alcohol. The older we get, we're learning how bad it is for you. So I have been turning to these types of products, and so have my friends. And, I've even turned my mother on to some of these things too. So it's really exciting to speak to you and learn more. And thank you for educating us today, because it is a confusing topic. I do encourage listeners to call your representatives if you have any questions and you want to have these open conversations. And then we'll definitely be paying attention to the lawsuit that's starting up in June.
Yes.
And then seeing if the governor signs these bills, and we'll go from there. But Devin, thank you so very much.
We're just taking it one day at a time. Thank you, Marie, for having me.
And hey, don't go anywhere. In just a second, our executive producer, Whitney Pasterek, will be chatting with Emily Luxon from Cheekwood about their upcoming community celebration sponsored by Cheekwood.
Hey, I'm CityCast Nashville executive producer Whitney Pasterek, and I'm here with Emily Luxon, the Director of External Relations and Communications at Cheekwood Estate and Gardens. Emily, the inaugural Cheekwood Community Celebration is scheduled for June 3rd through 7th. Thank you so much for being here to tell us about it.
Oh, Whitney, thank you so much for this opportunity. We're really excited about this event.
Well, y'all have planned 5 full days of celebration, each with a different theme. What's the general idea behind this event?
Well, you may remember when we started our spring festival, which is Cheekwood in Bloom, the theme was Love is in the Air. And also right now, we've got Robert Indiana's iconic love sculpture on display at Cheekwood. So we really just wanted to continue to build on that and just keep spreading the love. So this event is really just the perfect way to celebrate the community that we all love and call home, and bring together so many of our sister cultural institutions who are providing special programming day and night throughout this event. We just want to invite everyone in Nashville to come out and participate and enjoy a beautiful day at Cheekwood.
Tell me about some of the cool stuff that folks can expect.
Yeah, so how long do you have? I think I could fill your entire podcast with this jam-packed schedule that we have put together. But yeah, lots of great music for sure. We kick things off on Tuesday. The Nashville Opera is going to be performing some love songs. And we've got the Nashville Shakespeare Festival performing in the evening with the Shakespeare-themed cocktail crawl. Of course, music throughout the whole week. Grammy Award winner Rodney Crowell is going to be doing a great show on Wednesday. We've got a Beatles tribute band Saturday night. Forever Abbey Road is going to be singing in the Gardens. And then another night I'm really particularly excited about, the movie night in the Gardens we're going to be doing. You can come and watch The Princess Bride with the beautiful gardens of Cheekwood surrounding you. I think that's going to be so much fun. And we're also offering Cheekwood Gardening School classes for just $5 all throughout the week. And again, there is so much more. So please go to cheekwood.org to check out the full schedule. I just can't get through all of it right now.
Oh my gosh. As you wish. I love to see The Princess Bride outdoors. What a perfect choice. I mean, this is all incredible programming. What went into planning this event?
You know, so much hard work. A big shout out to our incredible, hardworking education team. They not only came up with all of these great ideas and themes, but they made it all come together. I still don't know how they did it, but it's so impressive. And we, of course, want to thank our amazing sister cultural institutions for jumping on board with this. We really think the end result is going to be something that's just really special. And it's something that there's really an event for everyone in Nashville, and we hope they'll come out and enjoy it.
All right, let's talk details. You mentioned that those gardening classes were an additional $5, but how much will this cost in general? And what do folks need to know before they head down there?
You know, this is the best part. The prices are incredible. Non-members receive half price admission. So that comes out to just $10 for adults, $9 for seniors, and $4 for youth. But also, it's really a great time to consider becoming a member at Cheekwood, because members get free daytime admission and discounted tickets to the special evening events. So go to cheekwood.org to reserve your tickets in advance. That's the most important thing you need to do before you come, because we do time ticketing, but you'll get more information online.
Okay, very cool. Seriously, Emily, Cheekwood is such a local gem. We talk about what y'all have going on the podcast all the time, from your holiday events to just general programming, like you mentioned, Cheekwood in Bloom. What else is coming up for spring and early summer that we can look forward to?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for helping us spread the word on our events. There's always something going on at Cheekwood, right? So we're also kind of running concurrently with our community celebration. Enchanted Castles is our big summer exhibition. That's going to be running May 1st through August 17th. 5 locally made castles, this was a partnership with Castle Homes, which is a local home builder, are going to be set up throughout the garden. So think kind of like oversized playhouses, the perfect opportunity to come like explore your imagination. Great names like the Dragon's Den, Flower Fairy Palace, Formidable Fortress, really cute names. So we think that's going to be a big hit with the kids. Father's Day weekend, we're going to have our Exposition of Elegance classic cars at Cheekwood Show. This is a huge hit every year. More than 100 classic cars and vintage motorcycles will be on display. And the weekend ends with a big parade through the streets of Belmead. It's a lot of fun. Music, food, bar stations all set up. A great way to spend the weekend with Dad.
Unbelievable. Emily, thank you so much for being here to share all of this with us. We so appreciate it. And y'all, seriously, check out cheekwood.org to learn more about the community celebration and everything else Emily talked about. We'll have that link for you in our show notes as well, so you'll be just a click away. Thanks for listening.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Doodles.